All the answers you need to know. Watch now, the Internet Dad Show. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us tomorrow's news today. Oh yeah.
All right, we got news like Wikileaks Assange pleads guilty and is going to be released to Australia. Welcome, everybody, to the Internet Dad Show. I'm JJ, that's Deacon. We meet here Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning to drink coffee and spill coffee on our stuff.
Spill coffee on our keyboard. No, don't stick right there. Hello.
Yes, good morning. My kid's got to put up her laundry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Jill?
All right.
Hey, Jill.
Yeah. Lily's already putting up her laundry. Now, the thing about Lily is that sometimes when she puts up her laundry, instead of putting the clean clothes in the drawers they go in, she does occasionally take the laundry and put it into the dirty laundry basket.
Why not?
Which
sometimes, I mean.
Yeah. Which causes someone in this house to be infuriated, and then,
and then everyone is in a bad mood.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it is. If you keep that old saying, if mama's happy, everyone is happy, that's the God's honest truth. As long as mama's happy, everyone's happy. Good morning.
That's true. Sir. And if mom's not happy, you better find somewhere to take cover.
Right.
All right. Good morning, folks. Julian Assange. This is the big story, I guess. It's probably bigger than the other one that I got, which is the Surgeon General has issued a new health advisory. So we'll talk about
that. Yeah.
You remember what they did during the pandemic with those health advisories. So we'll see what they do.
Absolutely.
Hey, there's Dave. Dave's here. Let's see if Dave wants to join in. All right. Okay, cool. All right. So it's been quite a long journey for Julian Assange. He spent something like 7 years in like a closet in an Ecuadorian embassy.
1900 and something days.
Really?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Really? Well, he is now on his way back home. He's going back to Australia. A plane carrying Julian Assange landed Tuesday in Bangkok for refueling as the WikiLeaks founder was on his way to a plea deal with the U.S. government. He's going to plead guilty, I guess, to one count of espionage.
But the sentence is he's already served it. He gets time served. So by pleading guilty, he's able to
be free.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, there's a saying about this that the process is the punishment,
that's a good point. And he's never going to truly be free. I mean, he's always going to be looking over both shoulders at the same time, man.
Yep.
And I was looking at this and I was like, of course I go through Reddit and see all that horse crap that they post. And I was thinking, my kids don't even know who this is.
Right. Yeah.
My kids don't know who Julian Assange is and how important he was and how he was labeled as, this super traitor until we all were like, why is he a super traitor again?
Yeah.
He
told what the deep state was doing.
He was telling stuff that we weren't supposed to know. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, like, let's see. He's expected to plead guilty of an espionage act charge against him, conspiring to unlawfully obtain and disseminate classified national defense information. Okay. Assange is expected to return to Australia after the plea deal sentencing. The hearing is taking place in Saipan because Assange's opposition to traveling to the continental U.S. and the court's proximity to Australia, prosecutors said. British officials confirmed that Assange left the UK on Monday evening after being granted bail in a secret hearing last week. So he's been through quite the ordeal for basically just doing journalism, because he didn't break anything. He was given information and published it. Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, that's what the media does every day, and then they'll retract it 4 days later on page 14. Whoops,
Yeah.
that was wrong.
I'm monitoring things for
13.
you, JJ, and I'm not seeing anything on Rumble, by the way. Like I'm not
The
even seeing it
Rumble
show.
streams are up. Let me see.
Nah.
I should check that. Let's see. Bleep, blop, bloop. I do forget to go over there and, well, you are correct. Let's see.
Boo, say the fans. God, we've done this.
We just redacted
they-
everything about it.
Have they changed
Julian.
things? Why have they changed things? Okay.
Wow.
Well, Art Knuckles. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to.
Bizarre. But yeah.
13 and a half years and 2 extradition requests. 13 and a half years on the run and hiding from America. And a great deal of America didn't want Julian Assange freed anyway. But if you ever had any doubt about what's the right thing in this situation, guys, if you needed something to, set your moral compass to know whether we should be or should not be in favor of freeing Julian Assange, then you should take note that former Vice President Pence says that Assange's release from prison is a miscarriage of justice and dishonors veterans. So it appears that freeing Assange is totally the right thing to do, and because I don't trust this guy at all.
What's the justification of that statement?
Yeah, Julian Assange endangered the lives of our troops in a time of war and should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, Pence wrote. The Biden administration's plea deal with Assange is a miscarriage of justice and dishonors the service and sacrifice of men and women who in our armed forces and their families. We should have never been at war.
I may be wrong on this, but didn't Hillary Clinton do the exact same thing? Endangering the lives of our troops?
Yes, but that's a Clinton. War? This is some foreign guy.
I mean, I'm being serious. According to the media, she did the exact same thing. So, okay.
Yeah, so that if Mike Pence lines up on that side, I'm gonna get on this side. And it's not. This is not a Republican. This is not a Republican Democrat thing. This is a deep state.
But you just made it a Republican Democrat thing.
No, it's not, because I'm not a Democrat. He's deep state.
I don't think it is a Republican Democrat thing. But by saying that, because Mike Pence and I don't line up with that guy, didn't you just make it a Republican? Democrat thing?
No. What I'm telling you is that's not the line. The line is deep state and not deep state. And Mike Pence and Hillary Clinton are deep state. They're all establishment actors.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So
what if Trump comes out and says something similar?
I honestly think Trump was talking pardon, or like people have been talking to Trump about a pardon for Assange if he gets in the second term, and that might still happen. Honestly, if Joe Biden wants to do anything to take a little bit of steam out of Donald Trump, the Trump campaign, Biden should pardon Assange and Russ Albrecht, but he won't. So, but that would.
I've got Snowden's book in my reading list. I've got Snowden's book in my reading list. I definitely want to read it. I haven't started it yet. I want to read. Snowden
actually did steal information.
He did
and give it out, but it still was
the information that he stole, that he saw, that he stole and got out there was like some heavy stuff. Though it was like it wasn't just like
it was
this guy's making stock trading stuff.
No, it was the federal government is spying on you. Here's the proof. The only way you're ever going to get it is from a whistleblower from the inside. So that's what he did. He put his life in jeopardy to do it.
Did I post the thing in the Deep Conspiracy Theories? No. Did I post the thing on the birds, the spy birds somewhere? Is it News Drops? Let me look at, and I'll post it on our Discord server, so you can go over to our Discord server and see what I'm talking about now.
So,
links in the description.
I'm gonna hop in on that one because several years ago, dude created a conspiracy that all birds are drones, right? They're all drones.
Birds are fake. Birds are fake.
They sit on the telephone wires and they recharge.
Here it
so
is.
He started that as a conspiracy, but then he actually came out and said, "Yeah, it's just a conspiracy." After years saying that it was real, it was real, it was real. Now, if I were to put my tinfoil hat on, what I would then do as deep state government is create actual fake drone birds. Now that it's all there.
Okay,
there's a 60 minutes clip.
No, hang on. I found this yesterday. It was the Freedom of Information Act electronic reading room screenshot. Okay, I'm going to share this screenshot. It's hard to freaking read because it's so little, but you can read it. Let's see the approval for release.
Here.
Yeah, let me try to get a little bigger. Bird camera development. The final camera design has been completed and tested. This camera number 3, has undergone extensive ground tests, including vibration, and was flown 6 times during the Oklahoma test listed in Table 1. This camera, which uses a Minox lens, has a weight of 35 grams, including timer, film, and batteries. The total flight weight, including harness, is 30. This talks about a bird camera
from 1976.
Yeah, a long ass time ago.
But it's just now been approved for release.
Yeah, this was an actual small camera that fit on a bird and whatnot. And
okay.
Yeah,
like a little hat, like a bird wearing a hat.
Collar.
It's interesting.
Bird camera. I want a photo. I want a picture of bird camera.
I wouldn't be using birds as cameras. I would be using tiny.
I've seen some pretty small cameras,
drones, man.
I've seen some pretty small cameras.
Yeah, there's some teeny tiny ones out there. All right. I don't remember. We didn't have a lot of political stuff on the stuff on the show this morning.
Yeah. Okay. So wait. So you're saying birds are not real?
No, they are real. But if I wanted to capitalize on the birds are not real, wink, I would then create some birds that are legit not real and make them look as real as possible. And just yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what that's a part. Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Oh, I didn't realize I had the screen up. Sorry.
All right. So, pardon me. The
Rumble ever start?
I don't know.
Spying on you, according to Edward Snowden.
I think that something's up with
Rumble.
With Rumble, like I think they changed something, or I'm gonna have to go find the new static URL or something. Wait, maybe I can just let's see. Unable to connect. Let me see if I can turn it back on.
I know Restream changed some stuff again here this past week and whatnot, but didn't they do something yesterday that we noticed?
Wait, not Twitch. Yeah, they changed their. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about Rumble today.
That's all good. It's all good. I just saw Brian's article from 6:20 this morning in News Drops. I was just like,
so weird. I can't diagnose stuff live. Okay. So the United States Surgeon General has issued a new health advisory for this health emergency. Guys, we have a health emergency.
Okay.
I don't listen to the Surgeon General all the time anticipating health emergencies, but the last one that I remember was, we've all seen the Surgeon General's warning on the side of a pack of cigarettes before. And, I stopped smoking cigarettes many, many years ago. And we had the health emergency of the pandemic, and they handled that really, really well,
So here's who we're talking about real quick before you bring up.
Murthy. His name's Murthy, Vivek Murthy.
The
pandemic health emergency did require us to wear masks and, stay 6 feet away from each other, even though Fauci kind of made that rule up. That was not evidence-based at all. That was just like, they just said that.
6 feet away.
Well, yeah. So the Surgeon General has declared a new health emergency, and it is this. It is the gun health emergency. It makes a lot of sense, I guess.
Gun violence.
He's declaring gun violence to be a health emergency. So according to this man, the Surgeon General declared on gun violence a public health crisis, driven by a fast-growing number of injuries and deaths involving firearms in this country. People want to be able to walk through their neighborhoods and feel safe. America should be a place where all of us can go to work, go to school, go to the supermarket, go to the house of worship without having to worry about putting our life at risk. So to drive down gun deaths, Murthy calls on U.S. to ban automatic rifles, introduce universal background checks for purchasing guns, and regulate the industry, pass laws that would restrict their use in public spaces and penalize those who fail to safely store their weapons. Yeah.
He has a question.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if in my hypothetical story that I'm writing, first, what I was wanting to say was, Vivek, the reason that there is a gun violence, whatever you said, is because if your boss opened the borders and then all these other countries let out all their prisoners and shipped them over to the country that had their open borders in our hypothetical story that I'm writing.
Okay.
So in this hypothetical story, I'm going to make it to where shipping these violent criminals into this hypothetical country,
That should be the name of the book, hypothetical.
And in this hypothetical country, they're shipping all of these criminals into this hypothetical country, and these criminals are not going to assimilate and follow the laws. They're going to get the guns that are very readily available in this hypothetical country, and then they're going to commit all kinds of crimes with these in this hypothetical country that has been trying to get gun control for a long time. What if this resurgence of people in our country, these criminals committing these crimes, could help bolster the gun control? Because if you've got all these criminals that are now in your neighborhood and they're now committing these crimes with these guns, you're probably going to be on board. More people would be on board with gun control at that point than anything else. This is just my hypothetical story.
I see. Well,
what are the current public health emergencies?
Ooh, let's look that up.
That's a good question. None of us are unbiased here. So whenever they say, gun violence pandemic, I think, okay, yeah, there have been some mass shootings, there have been some violent outbreaks or whatever. But the ones that really stand out in the news are that I remember recently. It seems to be like mental health people with mental health issues that are attacking people.
Jesus, there's a crap load of them.
Yeah. Well, they're.
Oh, wait a minute. These are just the current ones. So the three current ones right now are in February, there were wildfires in Hawaii. In March, there was the opioid crisis that was national. And then May the 2nd, wildfires in Hawaii.
Which I didn't know anything about in
caused
May.
by space lasers.
In May.
So
there are other things that
those are the ones listed on hhs.gov.
I would say that alcohol abuse is a bigger public health emergency. I mean, just
absolutely,
golly, the number of individuals who
fentanyl should be a public health emergency.
Yes.
You know why it's not? You know why it's not listed? Let me guess. In my book, Hypothetical, all these people make money off of it.
So let's see. There is an article here that says that according to the FBI,
great idea, Dave. That's a freaking genius idea, man.
What's that?
What was it? What was his idea?
Let's write a story called Hypothetical.
Or you can write it the allegory. You can call it the allegory, and just completely make a satire of what allegory is.
Yes, that's good. That's really good, man.
All right, hopefully this isn't being recorded live, so we can.
So this is from 2022, so it's not current for 2024. I'd have to go look and see. This is from Statista. This was linked to in an article about the FBI citing means of homicide. Hang on just a second.
Yeah, and while he's going to look at these, I'm going to say these statistics: handgun deaths, or murder victims. I don't know if they're all going to be murder victims or if they're going to
No,
be
a lot of
accidental
them are
deaths.
suicide. Yeah.
Right. Well, it just says murder victims. So there's murder.
Oh, it's that. No, it
There's,
does say murder victims. It does say
right.
murder victims.
Is that going to include, like, if you die by suicide, is that not a self-murder?
No, of course, it is, but they wouldn't count it that way. Of
Okay.
course, handguns are going to be the number one by far.
No, but look. Okay, no. Here's
sense.
the point. Here's the point. Right here, rifles 541 in the year. Right.
Yeah.
More people died being beaten with hands and feet than automatic rifles.
What's number 2?
Knives.
What's the one below?
No, that's number 3. What's number 2? Number 2.
Firearms not
type.
stated.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What's the bottom one? I can't read it. I'm
Fire.
sorry.
Yeah, fire.
Fire. Oh.
Asphyxiation. Now this is 2022, so, but you know the numbers are.
And these are
probably
murder
gonna be
victims.
very
These are
similar.
murdered by.
Yeah. Oh, who knows? Not themselves. So, I don't know.
Right.
That's interesting. If you would have asked what do you think, I would have guessed handguns being the number 1.
Right, but also
I wouldn't have put knives up there.
When I think
that's how people get
up there.
When I think
Oh,
public
we obviously
health
need
crisis,
to ban knives. If we're going to ban
When I think-
rifles, we need to ban knives.
when I think public health crisis, I think general population. When I
Right.
think murder, I do not think general population. I think deviant population. Individuals who might be into organized crime or individuals who are, but not your standard run-of-the-mill person. So this public health crisis is like, it should cause a bit of thought. I don't know. We just had 2 cars collide head on, and there was a massive explosion. It was on one of the interstates on 265 yesterday in Louisville, and I drove past the spot a couple hours after it was all cleared up, and it's just charred black there. But the speculation was under the influence. One individual was driving the wrong direction.
Mm,
That's a public health crisis.
yeah.
I guess. I mean, handguns, like a school shooting. That's a public health issue. That's a public issue.
Yeah, but is it a public health issue? I mean,
Public-
okay. I guess my
Yes.
kind of my point of this is like this isn't the purview of the Surgeon General. How
Right.
many law enforcement agencies do we have that? I mean, we got
that are
Can
destroyed
you even-
right now.
Can you even name them? Name them all. You have your local police. You have your state police. You have
Sheriffs.
FBI. You have every state
Sure.
has its own equivalent of an FBI. You know,
Mhm.
you have Department of Homeland Security. You have, I mean,
Marshals,
like,
Texas Rangers.
yeah, and we're like, oh, we're gonna make sure that the
Pinkertons.
Surgeon General, yeah,
Right.
Secret Service. There's all kinds of law enforcement that some of them
So-
that we probably don't even know about, that Dave knows, that we probably don't even know about, you know?
I guess my point here is
you
like,
work with them all the time with your
I do know
preaching.
several different
Yeah.
agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sheriffs, county, you got county sheriffs
County
and stuff like
sheriffs.
that. So we have
Constables?
we have stacks of law enforcement. So
Hey,
what
Federal's
is
about
this?
to make it law that constables have to go to police academy, and I am excited about that.
That's good. Do you have
That's good.
constables in Texas,
Texas has
JJ?
constables.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay, so yeah, we had a constable. I don't know if we currently have a constable, but
We have several.
we had one for several years, and then the old guy died. He drove an old, and I always asked what the constable was, and the only thing that was told to me was he is the only one that can arrest the sheriff.
Correct.
If the
And
sheriff,
constables can serve paperwork. They can
Yeah.
serve warrants. They have arresting
Yeah, I don't know.
authority.
I don't know the difference.
It's an elected.
To be
It's
honest,
an elected official.
it's an elected
Uh,
official, they don't have to go through law enforcement or the
Your
like the
sheriff
training.
doesn't either.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
sheriff is an elected. Does not have
that's
to go
true.
through.
He doesn't have to go
the
through
county-
that either. But I used to call our dog Chance the constable because he thought he was in charge and walked around the house and thought he was in charge, but he really had no power. So I would just call him the constable. I was like, the constable's out. He's making sure everybody's, but he really don't have any power, but he's
Mhm.
okay. Well, I guess
Sorry.
my point about this is that it appears that by putting this issue in the public health domain, they're going to do what they did last time, and they excused all kinds of behavior, restricting
Oh, yeah,
travel,
yeah.
restricting work, restricting your ability to interact with others, the things you can buy, at what time. There were curfews imposed
good
during the
point.
pandemic. So like by taking it out of like, oh, well, you know, it's not law about guns, it's a public health emergency, so it's public health powers. This is
It's going
this
to
is
add
obvious.
it's going to add credence to things like, oh, I was just crazy, man. I'm sorry. It's a mental health issue because now it's a public health issue, and so
Yeah, the guns should
Yeah.
have nothing to do with health. No, I'm sorry, that word
They
does
definitely
not
take health.
belong in this discussion. That public health, though, that
That's
word
what I'm saying.
does
Yeah,
not belong in
that's-
this discussion.
I need to know
Now-
more.
Yeah, I
Now,
don't like that.
Newsweek has an article from last year, and I haven't looked at this, but now if you want to make it a public health issue, Newsweek had an article last year about how many mass shootings have been carried out by transgender people. Well, there's your health angle right there.
When they put it,
It's
they
not-
put it out in March.
Yeah, March of last
And-
year. So
And
an updated.
and the shooting from Tennessee. I know it hasn't been in national media here lately, but I've seen it. And
Yeah.
there's recently been something in the past couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, that they were suing somebody for leaking the manifesto.
Manifesto, yeah, it
Yeah,
got
they were
out.
trying to keep the manifesto, and it's like, why are you trying to keep
Right.
this? And their only excuse was it will harm the people that already have been victims. It would harm the victims.
I would be
And I'm
more
like,
concerned
don't-
about a.
Don't look at it.
The Colorado Springs shooter was non-binary. The Denver shooter was trans. Aberdeen shooter was trans. Nashville shooter was trans. And this was a year ago. There have been more since then.
I would be
So-
concerned with any kind of manifesto leaking from my angle of creating copycats. That would be my fear of a manifesto leaking.
Mhm.
Because it's going to be ideology based. And there's somebody else who's going to fall right into that ideology and
but
think, oh, this is what I need to be doing. That would be
True.
my concern with a manifesto leak.
Keeping things
true.
undercover and secret, it doesn't make things better
But-
though,
Correct.
right?
Right. You're
Because
right.
because
Dave,
those
but-
people and
but
those
they're going to get it from anywhere.
Correct.
they are,
They were
and those
probably on
people are
forums
people are
before, and they probably
already
generated it from
self-isolated. Yeah, look, there's nobody that's decided to become trans that it just happened out of the blue. No, what happened was they were receiving messages, they were receiving they're getting involved with groups or whatever. They gradually close off their life and their relationships to the other members of their family that won't accept me. They won't accept me. So they close off those relationships. They close out all input except from their ideologically compatible group. It's indoctrination. It's self-imposed indoctrination. So whatever channels those exist in, they would get that same information in. So it doesn't matter if you try
Where
to
was
not
that-
release the manifesto.
I thought you posted that story. Where was that story? Oh, I saw this. Brian posted it. Yeah, I saw this all over the place yesterday. This is along the same veins, and it's made me and Ashley had a discussion about this that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's the one that I freaked out about.
Oh, yeah.
earlier.
Yeah, so they busted the head of the LGBTQ Democrats of Maryland after he was going after a 14-year-old boy. Full video. There's dropping this full video, but basically this guy
Been in that position for? Since fall. Okay. Is that like a pay? Anyway, you're the head of the LGBTQ Dems in Maryland. Okay. How long have you been in that position for? Since fall. Okay. Is that like a paid position? Okay. Just more of a volunteer type thing. Is it like a super PAC or something, or is it just okay? This stuff said here, like, I want to rape you. I want to see how much of a faggot you are. What was kind of said about that?
Okay. That's in our news if you want to go and watch that.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I read some of the screens. I saw the screenshots of this chat floating around. Who was
if
doing
you
it? Cassandra McDonald reposted like to show what's going on. It's disgusting.
so here's what down the rabbit hole gets even more disturbing. It was in some comments or whatnot, and you go down and they start talking. I don't know if it was in this one or it was in one of those ones, and we were talking about this, and it was a drag queen, I believe, that was telling that being a 14-year-old prostitute is like a rite of passage for these drag queens. Yeah, he was saying that's why you keep hearing this number 14, 14. All these kids are 14. These boys are 14 because it was like right around that time is like a rite of passage. If you were a 14-year-old prostitute as a gay boy, then you're probably going to be a pretty popular drag queen in the future or something like that. Most of the drag
Maybe the other way around. The people that end up becoming drag queens have had that horrible experience. Wow, that's really terrible.
So that opens up a whole new avenue of let's take out the whole homosexual drag queen aspect. Just completely take that off the table. It's a 14-year-old child that has been sexually abused and grows up. What are the odds that they're going to be completely normal, or what? Because I was not sexually abused at all, and I'm not completely normal. So good God.
Right.
So then you add these people that prey on these kids that are screwed up in their head because of their age in the first place, and all their hormones and everything are going nuts. It was just disturbing to go down that rabbit hole. That was one
that's terrible.
Yeah. That was
these are conversations we really need to have with our kids as well. I mean, I had a long heart to heart with my daughter who's 13 Saturday, and just she had that deer in the headlight look.
Because they're indoctrinated.
Yes. Well, we were talking about I think as Disney has their hey, these are the shows for Pride Month, and I'm looking through the list, and one of the shows on there, I'm like, what is, I don't get that. So I asked my daughter about it because she and I love the show. And I asked my older son, he's 20, and he's just like, I don't really know about that one. The other one's okay, I can get. But this one, I don't totally get. And we think we figured it out. The TV show was Gravity Falls. I don't know if you all have ever watched it or not.
I don't know what that is.
It was basically X-Files for kids.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah, but apparently it's in the Pride category. And I was trying to figure out what makes it Pride category.
One episode.
Maybe. But then I looked at all the other stuff in there. And I'm just is this intentional marketing of story? Now, it probably is. I mean, Disney. But yeah, it was just shocking.
Yeah. I don't pay for Disney anymore. We even checked the other night. I was like, do we still pay for Disney? She's like, I think so. I was like, I hope not.
And you're missing out on
we didn't. So
missing out on
The Acolytes. What JJ
Acolyte.
This is the best show ever. Like, he loves that show. Do you know that guy?
So one of my guys from church, who I greatly trust, he's like, he's not a huge Star Wars lore guy, or Star Wars guy. He's been a Star Trek guy. He's enjoying it for the most part. He said, yeah, there's some stuff, some woke stuff in there. I'm just telling you what he's saying. And I'm like, well, I'll wait till the show's done before I watch it, if I watch it at all.
I think we should all get out and go hiking instead of watching TV all the damn time. You should go out and go hiking and be sure and take your compass, because you don't want to be missing for 10 days in California like the Unabomber here.
But hey, he had access to a gallon of water. Don't even ask.
I'm not making fun of this dude at all, because listen to this.
No, he survived 10 days.
This California man spent 10 days stranded in the mountains after he got lost on a hike, relying in large part on volumes of water to survive. Lucas McClish, 34, 34, set out on what he thought would be a 3-hour hike in the Santa Cruz Mountains June the 11th.
3-hour hike. A 3-hour hike.
Man.
The weather started getting rough.
He became
I need
lost in the mountains partially due to the destruction of local landmarks in recent wildfires. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can
totally.
completely see that happening. I rely on landmarks and stuff. Yes. The family reported him missing when he didn't show up for Father's Day dinner. He was eventually found Thursday thanks to a drone. They said that he was found in the Big Basin Redwood State Park, California's oldest state park and home to the towering ancient coast redwood trees. One of my bucket list items.
Bucket list
I have
right there.
very
Yeah,
few
yep.
bucket list items, but to see the redwood trees would be a spiritual thing for me, I think. They said that there were multiple reports of witnesses hearing someone yelling for help, but they could not locate him. He didn't have any major issues. He was tired, a little sore. He had lost his voice from yelling for help. When he went into the forest, all he had, when he went onto his hike, he had a pair of pants, his pair of hiking shoes, and a hat. I guess he went hiking without a shirt on.
Oh.
And he had a flashlight and a pair of folding scissors like a Leatherman tool. He attributed his survival to drinking lots of water from creeks and waterfalls found. So here's a tip, and Dave will concur. If you're ever lost in the woods, find some running water.
Running water has to be running.
Drink the running water.
Yeah.
All right. Don't drink stagnant water.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a little pen in the back of my car. It's about this big, and it can drink anything. Supposedly, this thing can filter anything.
Oh, one of them filter straws.
Oh, really?
It's a good one. It's not a cheap one. It's a good one, and it's made to filter for swimming pools. Because I always thought one of my thoughts was, if the big one hits and whatnot, and I'm having to go and find water, how many people have swimming pools in the back of their houses?
I would not drink that.
That's why I got the straw.
Water.
That's why I got this thing. It filters out everything. You can filter your own urine.
Let me throw some dad advice your way. If the big one hits, turn your shower, your tub, turn it on, fill it all the way up. No one's taking baths. Flush the toilet one time, and then turn that water off. Let it fill up everything again. So you got water in your toilet bowl if you need it in the back. Plus, don't forget your hot water heater is full of water. You can get the
water heater's full of water.
People forget that all the time.
Yep.
You can fill up the sinks in your house with water, and so you have access to water in all these different places. Do not open your freezer for anything. Don't open your fridge for anything, because you don't want to lose. If it gets bad enough, you're going to have to. Yeah, if it gets bad, you're going to have to. But
it will keep that stuff cold for a long time. Yeah, when we lost power for 14 days at my house. I live on the New Madrid fault. We've talked about that before. It goes off all the time. We just had a 2.4 yesterday or Sunday. We had a 2.4 over near Cape Girardeau. And we have talked about like routes over bridges. How many bridges do I cross from the radio station to my house? I cross like 20 bridges, and you don't know, they're not like big bridges. They're like little bridges that go over creeks that you really not paying attention to, but it's a bridge, you know? Yeah.
So when that bridge falls down, you're not getting across that creek.
My dad always said, he's old school, and he always said, we're all idiots for not having 1s and 5s buried in coffee cans in our yard. And I never really understood that until the ice storm, and everybody had 20s and 100s, and nobody had change. Nobody had change. You couldn't go get change. He always said, we're all dumb for not having 1s and 5s not buried in our yard.
So I don't know. The only thing that I think right away with this guy's story, I remember in Scouts we did orienteering. You read a map and tell the direction. Look, he doesn't have a compass. He can't tell which direction he's going. But what you can do is get a stick. You just use a stick and you stick a stick in the ground and you mark where its shadow is, and you wait 15 minutes and you mark it again. And you do that 3 or 4 times, and you know exactly where east to west is.
Yes. It's very easy.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I got another one here for you guys. And we were talking about this, I think, yesterday, and I mentioned that I was close to this park, but this man has been killed in Kings Island.
That
in
is not good.
Ohio.
What are the circumstances of this? Was he
So-
where he wasn't supposed to be?
Yes, he was.
Ah,
So this 38-year-old man has died days after he was hit by a roller coaster. This guy that I can't pronounce his first name, Mr. Nelson, suffered a traumatic injury Wednesday at Kings Island. He had entered a restricted fenced area near the Banshee roller coaster and is believed to have been struck by the ride by about 8 p.m. Why was he over there? He said he lost something and needed to retrieve it. And the park officials told him that
you did not need to retrieve
you
it,
have
dude.
to wait until we're closed and the ride is off and we'll go get it for you. And I didn't say what it was, but just assuming, I'm sure it was a cell phone or
I
something.
rode roller coasters this weekend. While we were riding the coasters, I saw at least 2 stuffed animals or stuffed hats that people had dropped on the ground. And I was like, oh,
glasses, phones.
It didn't even have to be his phone. It could have been something even like more trivial than that.
Well, they said that he snuck
It's
in.
not worth your life.
Yeah, it said a witness said Nelson told a park employee he had lost something on the ride and needed to go back to get it. The employee reportedly said that he would not be able to do anything until the ride closed, but the man continued to wander in the ride's vicinity and eventually passed through the restricted gate. Witnesses said that the man had been dressed in clothing similar to park staff, so some had thought he was an employee. The Banshee roller coaster is closed, and
that was probably like a coincidental thing. Like they all wear blue t-shirts and you happen to have a blue t-shirt on.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure.
I saw
How many
that
times
stuff
have you
too.
been to Kings Island, Deke?
I have never been to Kings Island. We've never went up there.
I've been there tons growing up.
Yeah, no, we always went to. You're closer.
And I lived in Cincinnati for a while. Yeah.
Opryland is an hour and 20 minutes to Opryland.
So I got a conference call in a little bit. Do you guys want to wrap this up? Because I'm gonna go talk to my kids before they leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I've got a Alec Baldwin story for you tomorrow, JJ.
We'll hold on to that for tomorrow.
Your song today is hang on, I've got it pulled up here so that you can hear a little bit of it, but we're doing bluegrass this week. So your song today, I'm hitting the wrong button here. You said you wanted some banjo, and I wanted you to hear some Billy Strings. So
I used my only phone call to contact my daddy. Got 20 long years for some dust in a baggie.
Such a great song.
It's a good song. So you'll have to go to the Discord server and listen to that one. That song,
that's about meth, but
yeah, the song is about methamphetamine. He got 20 long years for having dust in a baggie. But we had a conversation about that, and somebody said bluegrass was invented by back in the hills with a bunch of guys making illegal alcohol from corn.
Yeah,
and the evolution of bluegrass is now making illegal meth. It's
in
like
Detroit.
It's evolved. I was like, that's a really interesting way to look at that. So
did you see Billy's going to be a father?
No. I wanted to see him so bad.
He's going to have a son. I think in October.
JJ, Billy Strings
is amazing.
Anything by him is great. Anything
amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Great guitar player too.
Yeah. We'll get Rumble fixed up for tomorrow. We end the show every day with a hilarious joke. We're gonna go a little short today. Sorry, folks. Hilarious joke. How long does it take to count to infinity 4 times, guys? How long does it take to count to infinity 4 times?
I don't know.
Forever.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. Dave, do you have one? I haven't found one yet.
I do. So you all know my wife does sign language. She's a sign language interpreter, and I get to hang out with deaf people every now and then. So I have learned tons of sign language tons of sign language jokes.
Yeah.
And I guarantee no one has ever heard them.
Okay.
That was a good one.
That was good.
Which breed of horse can jump higher than a house?
All of them?
All of them. Houses don't jump.
No. Okay.
Yes. You get a high five.
Right. Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
Here we go.
Politicians and talking heads lying left and right. You can help us bring facts into the light. Don't let your daughter